Hi, it is October 4th, Thursday, and I thought I'd do a quick office update. Basically, we're going to talk about land contracts, but before we get to that, we have a couple housekeeping items to talk about. First is on October 10th at 9:30 here at Oxford, we're going to have a meeting with Justin, who's going to go over his new software program with First American Title and talk about buyer side transactions. So if you can make that, that's great. If not, you can always contact Justin directly to get that information. Next is leases. With our lease deals now, basically what we're going to do is we are going to request you to have a transaction checklist, the same one that you would use for a home sale. We're going to ask for you to fill that out on a lease transaction. Next is the E&O. I see that on some of the E&O deals we charged, and some E&Os we did not charge. So basically we're coming up with a policy that now on lease transactions we're going to be charging $15 per lease transaction side, so that way it's fair across the board and there's a clear-cut policy. Now on to land contracts. And a question I get a lot about land contracts really is a due on sale. And can a seller do a land contract? You know, in a land contract, what you have to remember, a land contract is a form of ownership. So basically the seller retains the deed and buyer makes payments to a seller to pay the home off. It could be for any length of time. It could be for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years. There is no rule that regulates that. However, if a seller does not own their home free and clear, and if they have a mortgage on it, that mortgage typically would have a due on sale clause, meaning that if a seller sold the property, that mortgage needs to be paid off. So if a seller tries to do a land contract and they have a mortgage on it, and the seller's lender finds out that they sold the home, they can call that mortgage due. So a seller would be in position to have to pay off the loan, but yet he still has a home buyer, a person who owns the home on the land contract, still making payments, and they're not obligated to speed up their land contract, so it could put a seller in a bad situation. There also now is, if I was reading the rules and regulations correctly, there is a $5,000 fine and loss of licensing if we help defraud the seller's lender to avoid the due on sale. So a land contract cannot be done on if a seller has a mortgage unless the lender agrees. Now I just did one with my sister's house. They had a mortgage on it, and basically I called the lender up and said, "Gee, do you want this house back, or do you want my seller, which was my sister, to keep making payments and sell it on a land contract?" They hem-hawed around a lot. However, I did get them to approve the new buyers under a land contract, so the buyers are making payments to my sister, and my sister's making their payments to the bank. So it's basically a win-win. However, do not try to defraud that due on sale. So when someone comes and says, "Gee, I want to do a land contract," first red light is, do they have a mortgage on it? There's there's some additional paperwork. It's a very easy sale to do. Basically, there's an addendum to the purchase agreement that talks about who pays taxes, how long the term is for the land contract, what the payments are. You know, if you have any questions whatsoever about any of that, feel free to contact me. I was not going to go through the forms. It's a whole nother different couple minutes. So if you have any questions on land contracts, please call me. Thanks.